Thanks everyone for coming. Welcome to the Extreme webinar, how to use payment processing technology to get other revenue streams. Embedding payments in your business solutions and offering payment choice can bring new customers to your revenue. We're talking to Get the Referral today, an exciting and innovative company that's done just that, is leverage payment technology and a partnership with Extreme to build an incredible, powerful, customer-centric solution. I'm really excited to hear more about it. I can't wait to share that with you as well. We're lucky to have Jamey Vumback with us today. He's the CEO and founder of Get the Referral. Jamey worked at AT&T for 25 years as RVP of Sales and Marketing before he launched Get the Referral in August of 2014. Building and growing Get the Referral is really his passion, along with growing coworkers and to become part of his family. We also have Max Grogan Crane here, Chief Revenue Officer at Extreme. Max has worked with Extreme since 2017, shortly after graduating college. He enjoys being part of Extreme, helping them grow and scale. His passion is really building relationships and helping customers solve their payment pain points. So to get started, just so people understand a little bit more about you, Jamey, and your company, maybe you can tell us about your company and how and then we can understand kind of how you leverage payments in your business. But really, understanding your business will help us do that. So let me start out with that.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Appreciate it. And hello, everyone. Glad to be here. We have now going on 2 or 3 years of a relationship with Extreme, and it's been a great relationship from day one. Get the Referral. What we do is we provide a software platform to companies, primarily right now focused in on the home improvement, home services industry, solar, roofing, security companies. We're actually also working with some car dealers, and we provide a platform that allows customers to connect with the company that they're dealing with directly through an application. And by doing so, they improve their overall experience from, from point of sale to delivery of whatever product that may be and beyond. And so what we do is provide that software platform to allow them to connect with a custom branded application. So, go out and try to build your own app out there right now with these types of facilities. Very costly. So we come in at a subscription-based type of account to where they can get a custom branded app in the App Store in their name, and then have their customers download that app and really be able to start engagement with them through SMS, through push notifications, and so on and so forth. And so we have been working in the home services industry now for the last 4 or 5 years. Goes by pretty quick, but what we have found is that we fill a need, and that need is to be able to connect with your customers. What the companies do right now, they have the ability to connect through email, maybe phone calls. We actually allow them to, we integrate with any CRM, so we can actually go in and update customers based off of whatever CRM they're using on their project. For example, if you're a solar company, and you receive the permit. Well, as soon as the permit is received, they mark that in their CRM that it was received. It sends notification to the customer through the application. And so every step of the way, the customer now is seeing things in real time. And what that does is it creates a great engagement. And so the underlying tool that we provide is the ability to then collect referrals when they're going out to tell their friends and family about the great experience that they had. And then the key component here that we're going to talk about is the ability to then reward that customer. We call customers advocates. So a company can actually go out and build a network of advocates of thousands of people. We have customers that have 20 or 30,000 advocates that have downloaded their app, and they're sending referrals in on a regular basis. And so what that does is allows a company then to harness all of those referrals, have them come into one place. We integrate into their CRM, and then they're able to manage that. And then we have different payment triggers that allow companies to reward an advocate for sending a referral when it hits a certain stage within their CRM. For example, we actually, have it set up so they can pay them for a qualified, appointment. If the salesperson goes out and has an appointment with that customer and presentation, they can actually pay the advocate, say $25 or $50 for giving them a good qualified lead. We know how hard it is out in the marketplace to generate leads. So why not pay your advocate for sending you a good qualified lead? And then when that lead sells, we have the capability of paying them a second reward, and that can be done based on a fixed number, anywhere, we've seen from $100 to $2,000 based upon the product that they're selling, or you can pay it on a percentage of that sale, or even a third way is a tiered referral process where the first referral is worth $500, second one's $700, $1,000, so on and so forth. So we give the companies a lot of flexibility and customizable components to where they can create a really great tool that allows them to communicate and engage. And where Extreme comes into play, obviously, is the rewarding of the money. And what we're really excited to talk about today is how that's changing companies and how it's really helping them streamline that overall process. So that's kind of where we are.
That's great. So it's really neat to hear about this, and you've created a platform where you get engagement with the customer during a process, and then they get excited about, hey, I have these new solar panels, I'm really excited, and you're telling neighbors about it. That's like the perfect time to get a referral for me to say, hey, this is something that you could do too, and then get the referral. So it's really cool how you did that. So why don't you tell me about what you were doing before that prompted a change in the way you're processing referral payments? I know it's a very unique approach you have now, but.
Yeah, so when I first started the company, just kind of figuring things out, we actually would provide a branded reloadable debit card. That proved to not be very cost effective. We would have to send out a welcome package. We'd have to get the company onboarded through a compliance process, and then actually buy the cards in advance, get them branded, and then send them out through U.S. mail. So when we first started, we thought it was a great idea, and that quickly turned into, well, I lost the card, I need a new one, and there was a lot of things that were happening. Or I never got it, it didn't work. So we looked to find some other solutions, and then we had another a payment gateway that we were using. The difference there was we integrated it with our system, but when the company wanted to pay somebody, basically the customer or the advocate that was getting paid would get an email from this third party, and then from there they would have to fill out their information, and then the money would go into their bank that way. So there really wasn't a tie between where the money was coming from, and so it served its purpose to a certain extent. But in 2017, we rebuilt the platform and the UI for our customers, and rebuilt the brand new app. And one of the things I wanted to do is to have the experience for the customer to have like a wallet. And that's really what the key was, is to provide the customer with a wallet like Venmo or, PayPal or something like that, where the money actually goes into their wallet. Then they have a choice now on how they want to, disperse those funds, right? So with the Extreme solution, which we brought in 2017, we were able to create individual wallets within our application, which then ties to that specific customer and company. So when the company now wants to pay that customer for that referral, it goes to their wallet. They get a notification on their phone. They go into the wallet. Now what happens is it increases the top of mind awareness, right? Because they're going into the branded app for that company. Yeah. Oh, I got money, I got paid. Oh, let me see, I got $500. How am I going to, what am I going to do with that money? Well, the nice thing is they can select and link a bank. So they want to send it to their bank. They want to send it to one of their friends' bank or their kids' banks. They can connect as many banks as they want to that. Or we have the option that Extreme has provided us, the ability to then actually have over 220 gift cards. So they can use a portion of the money that they have in their wallet to do a virtual gift card. There's also charities that are in that selection. So if they want to send some of that money to a charity of their choice, I think I think there's over 1 million different charities that you can choose from through a certain, a gift card in there, and also a virtual debit card. So it gives the customer the ability to choose on how they want the money and when they want the money. And what that did was it allowed us to then connect, that whole relationship. Instead of having a branded card that's in a branded debit card in their wallet, they have the branded app that they're going to the app, they're looking at it. It keeps them top of mind awareness, and it really creates that synergy between the company and the advocate going forward. So
yeah, two questions on that. One is like, it sounds like the speed went way up with connecting, like after you get a referral that's positive, they get that response. Is that coming faster than it used to then?
Yeah. The immediacy of the payment is really important. And that's one of the things that we do in our onboarding of our customers is say, listen, one of the biggest things and the differentiator for us in what we do is obviously we have the branded app, which there's a lot of the referral companies that do that. Then you also have the ability to pay them. And so during our onboarding, one of the things we say, the ability to pay somebody is important, and that's the big driver for most people, right? Most people, they want to get paid for it. And so what they do is then have the ability to pay them right away. So in our onboarding, we tell them, listen, the most important thing is once you know that sale is done, pay that advocate as soon as you can, because they're gonna be excited about it. They're gonna want to send more to you. So that immediacy of the payment is really important, and the visual part of it, right? If you get a check in the mail, if you get a debit card in the mail, or something like that, it kind of just goes away. But if you're looking at it and you have ways to disperse that money, multiple different ways to do that, then it becomes really powerful.
Yeah, and they're back on the app again, right? And so this is an opportunity then to do another referral, because they're probably hearing from their friend that they said, oh yeah, we went ahead and we're doing it, and then they found out and they got the payment, and it's a good positive environment.
I had a great call yesterday, one of our customers, and he explained to me at one of our car dealers that some customers that were having some trouble paying their payment for their car. What they do with them is they'll reach out to them and say, hey, listen, send us a referral. We'll you won't have to use it to make your payment. And there's customers that are paying for their car for by sending referrals.
That's pretty cool.
They might be home on
furlough or
pandemic, and this way they don't have to make their payment because they're sending referral and they're getting paid for it. So it's so cool, and we some of the solar companies we work with as well, that we position it that way. Say, listen, if you want to pay for your solar, just send us one referral a month. We'll pay you $500. That's more than covers the payment for your solar system. So it's really great to introduce the program. They get more business. The customer's happy. Their friends are happy because they had a great experience, and so on and so forth. So that's the kind of thing we're trying to build here.
Cool. So I'm going to ask Max a question now.
Great.
So Max, like when they came to you, I know that your wallet technology is really very advanced. Like this is like a perfect application for you. Like what did you see on your end when they came to you?
Yeah, definitely. So, when I looked at originally, I think the lead came in through email. They reached out to me from one of my drip campaigns I did. And I definitely remember looking at their solution and seeing what they did, a referral application. And I realized straight away that there was a need for doing payments, right? And, the fact that they had a mobile app and the fact that they, could benefit from our very tightly integrated solution while offering easy onboarding, much more capabilities for moving money out of the wallet, to different methods. And I just thought it was a really good, use of our system, definitely a type of customer and partner that could, benefit a lot from our solution. So it made sense right away.
Yeah, cool. So, Jamey, let me ask you this. So you talked about what flexibility really did you gain to this new process, and what were your major benefits for this new process?
It was the ease of integration of the API, and the relationship that I built with Max and Richard at Extreme, to where, they're a phone call away. And, if we need something, the response time was very quick. I remember our first integration that we did with our previous provider. It cost me, I think it was like $20,000. It was crazy how much money it cost. And, to do that. And then they had a monthly subscription, and you know, so what the relationship with Extreme and the revenue share model that they, you know, have, and the availability of the APIs and open API, you know, development partnership has really, you know, improved, you know, how we go to market with this product. So.
Yeah, and so I want to talk about compliance too, because that's a big thing for everyone in payments. What are some of the things you had, and what kind of advantage are you getting through compliance with Extreme?
Yeah, as I mentioned, with the original process that we had, it was a hassle. It was manual, getting information and everything else. You know, compliance obviously with money laundering and other things that are happening out in the marketplace right now and have been happening. They're very diligent on how they go about moving money, and so it takes that completely off my plate, which I do not want to be. You know, I don't want to create my own payment platform. I know what you know, what it takes to put together what Extreme has done, and so I really want, you know, the ability to, you know, have someone oversee this and not have to ever worry about it. So we have our customers onboarded, and that whole process has gotten streamlined over the last 6 to 8 months, even, you know, always making it quicker and easier for our customers to get onboarded, and, you know, really addressing what information is needed versus getting a whole plethora of information and, you know, trying to, you know, qualify this person. So they really narrow down what information they need and how, you know, how we can get it to them quickly through automation.
Cool. So how has this created additional streams of revenue for you, like, and opportunities for that? I know we talked a little bit about that before.
Yeah, the one nice thing too is, and I didn't mention it in the integration, it says we have a single sign-on. So when a customer creates an account with GTR, a wallet is automatically created for them. So that helps a lot too, where there's not a separate account that the customer has to sign up for. And that was a big advantage as well in the integration. As far as revenue share, we have, you know, a few different revenue streams at GTR. One of them is a subscription, monthly subscription for our software platform, but also there is a transaction fee of currently right now at 3.2% transaction fee when a customer wants to, a company wants to pay an advocate. So it doesn't cost any money. They can ACH money onto their account, no additional cost. And that transaction fee is only when they pay somebody. And there's some big benefits for that. So the person receiving the money, there's no cost to them. It's a cost to the company. But within that cost, there's a lot of time saving that they are provided by doing so. It's one of these things where as far as I understand, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my word for it, but my understanding of how these payments are processed, because Extreme is the payor, it's considered, and it's electronic, it's considered a 1099K versus a 1099 miscellaneous. So with the typical situation, if I was going to pay an advocate $650 after $599, I've got to get a W-9. I've got to then report that money that I paid to that individual at the end of the year as a 1099. With Extreme and the 1099K payment platform, it's a lot different, to where you can actually have 200 instances and exceed $20,000 before that is going to be reported on a 1099. And so that relieves the company from having to do that for every one of their 20,000 advocates that collects a W-9. What happens is Extreme will take care of that on their end after those two criteria are met, and then it's reported to the government at that point. And that's a big time saver for our customers. So, you know, the ability to, you know, to pay that 3.2%, first of all, it's so simple to pay their customers. We keep track of what's owed to the customers through our platform. And they load money, and they just hit pay now, and the money goes electronically to them. I mean, it's immediate. There's no additional mail. You don't have an accountant filling out a check. So there's time savings. There's, you know, resource savings, and there's a whole tax implication that, you know, really helps them not have to worry about collecting a W-9 for 20,000 different advocates that are sending them referrals. So
Yeah, it sounds like it really lowers the barrier for a company that wants to give referrals that, in the marketing environment today, it may be very costly to get a lead that's not a referral. And so you're willing to pay more for a referral because it's really important to you. And that really lowers the barrier for people to do that without creating headaches and that environment.
yeah, being able to drive down the cost per acquisition and ultimately, well, cost per lead and ultimately the cost per acquisition, is what's most important. That's what we try to really promote when we're talking to a new company is, listen, you know what? Yeah, it's 3.2%. You go out and try to buy a gift card at the grocery store, it's going to cost you more than that anyway, right? And so there's time and effort that takes place that we're able to, alleviate from them. And it's a big money saver because, like you said, the average cost per lead, typically say in the solar or roofing industry is a couple $100, right? This way, that's not even paying for the referral. That's just to get the lead in the house. So by the way, using our platform, you're reducing the cost per lead, cost per acquisition, and overall, more money to their bottom line.
Yeah, that's great. So it's interesting when I talked to you guys before about customer service, I think there's a really unique way you work together. And I wanted to kind of bring Max into this conversation too, but I want to start with Jamey because when we were talking about this before, I think the bar is set pretty low for customer service today in general. Yeah. And especially in software, it's really hard. Everyone's trying to be like, lower the communication and put, help out there for you to read yourself. But talking to you, the two teams have worked really well together around the business case and to solve for that. Why don't you talk a little bit about that and how you guys communicate?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned before, Richard, the CEO of XTRM, him and I, we actually created a friendship, and when he's in town, he comes visits. And so that, that's the type of person he is. And I think the folks at XTRM are as well, to where, we take it to another level from that standpoint. Communication and such, working with Max and the support team at XTRM. My team and their team have a lot of interaction because the end user, the advocates, sometimes aren't technically advanced enough to understand how to press a button and such. Yeah. So we get a lot of calls from customers that just need a little help and a little better understanding. And so and when we have a question, we actually created a Slack channel for those of you that know what Slack is, but it's a technology platform to communicate. And so that has really improved our communication with, instead of sending emails, waiting for a ticket to be responded. Yeah. We have a quick question, we'll send it over on Slack, they'll get back to us, and that back and forth, alleviates time and effort and really helps us connect with our customers, keep them happy. So
yeah, it's not a ticketing where you go in, you have a ticket open, you're waiting for someone to respond. For those that don't know, Slack's a one-to-one communication that you can communicate freely, which is really, I think, raising the bar. Max, why don't you talk a little bit about kind of how you guys approach that? Because I know it's unique, and having a Slack channel with your customers is definitely a unique thing in the software.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely it is. There needs to be a lot of communication because we're doing a large function together. Payments is a very complex thing from an onboarding perspective to making sure that people get paid and they're able to access their money. And there's a lot of things that, due to user error, for example, that can mean the payment doesn't go to their bank account, for example. They might put in the wrong details. Yeah. And it gets, sent back. So there needs to be a lot of communication. And that's what we strive for as a company, is we want to make sure that we are able to efficiently address those issues, because we know that, for example, one person that it might be their fault why they didn't receive their money, but then they go and complain to the company, one of GTR's customers, for example, and that's not good. So we understand that we need to build out the systems like, the Slack channel and the support system to really be able to make sure all the end users are happy. So it's definitely an important function, and we've identified that. And we're always looking to make it more efficient, to not just, support them, but also build features and functionality to allow users to, allow the GTR people, to get the referral employees to manage those customers as well. So we're always adding new new features, functionality to do that.
Very cool. And what I liked about it is it was really around the business case and trying to solve for really Jamey's business case, which is actually his customer's business case, which is kind of cool. So I have one last question, and then we can go to questions if people have them. Just so you know, if you're on, there's a Q&A button on the bottom. You can just type in a question, and we'll ask that of the panel members. So if you have a question, definitely fill that out. So why don't you, Jamey, talk about how this is part of scaling your business?
Yeah, it's something that is a big component of what we're trying to do right now, which is scale this business. Because right now I believe we're doing maybe little over $1 million a month in transactions. And so the way we have it built out, the larger we get, there's no inhibitors that are going to prevent us from going to 2 million, 3 million, 5 million a month in referral transactions. And that's a number that just keeps amazing me, how much money is getting paid out to these advocates through our platform. And you know, it's just getting everybody on board. So we really fine-tune our onboarding process, and our team, our customer success team, is doing an incredible job of getting folks onboarded from day one, getting them to understand the importance of utilizing the Extreme integration and how it will save them time and money over a period of time. And so being able to scale that, it makes it really easy, right? Because we have the integrations, they have the capabilities to move as much money as we possibly can send them. And, you know, with very, very few issues that have come up in the last 3 years since we've been using Extreme. So, and if there are any issues, they're, you know, immediately handled and addressed through whether it's support Slack or a direct call from Richard to me or me to Richard. So it's been exciting, and we want to continue to go in that. And I believe me, I've looked out there. There's a few other platforms that may be kind of somewhat similar, but nothing that's going to provide me with the tools necessary, you know, and the back end support that we get from Extreme. So
yeah, so I know, like, referrals, because of today's buying environment, is super important because of that trust element. And as that continues to grow at the low cost you're talking about, I mean, you guys are positioned well to support that and with your customers, which is really cool. Yeah, so I don't have any other questions. Max, do you have any other comments? So let me see if there's any questions in here. Real quick. Cool. So I know we're coming up on 30 minutes. Thanks a lot for coming. I really appreciate it. This is a really good conversation. It's really impressive to see how the two companies work together, like in a really symbiotic relationship to support each other, and structured in a way to support that. So that's something that I think is really important for both growth of both companies, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely, so, you know, people think, you know, I just want to make payments, but there's much more to it than just making payments. There's, you know, there's compliance, there's the support side of things, there's the automation, and it gets very complex, not to mention the international side as well. Like, you know, our solution can help, you know, get the referral scale internationally as well. So when they have, they have customers that want to make payments to advocates in Australia, we can help them, you know, we can handle that. So there's a lot that goes into this, and partnering with a company that's built this global framework for onboarding customers in a compliant way, for moving the money in a very efficient way without needing too much information, and then ultimately managing the compliance from the outbound flow of money. It's very important, and it gets very complex. And that's what, you know, we help with, and we help our partners have the ability to scale globally without having to worry about the day-to-day things about the payment processes.
Cool. Yeah, I'll second that. And we do have a couple Australian customers, Canadian customers, and I didn't mention before, but our platform before, they were only US based, right? So there was limitations there. So that's another, I guess, to answer your question before about scaling, that's another component that went into our decision working with Extreme, is that they are have the ability to go worldwide, which we're going to go worldwide. So
Yeah, especially today, a huge opportunity to do that, which is super important for companies to continue to find ways to grow, especially in this economy. But thank you so much, guys, for coming. I really appreciate it. Great conversation. We're recording this, so if someone hasn't seen it, we can share it, and we'll share it with everyone after. So,
yeah, if anybody wants to check us out, www.getthereferral.com. Be happy to show you our platform. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
excellent.
it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thanks, Max.
Take care.
All right.